Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar on accelerating insights with AI, embedding analytics with artificial intelligence. Today, we have Kaylin Cowell, who is a senior sales engineer with MicroStrategy based in Toronto, and myself, Arpan Sharma. I am a principal sales engineer with MicroStrategy based in Austin, Texas.
Thanks, Arpan. So what can you expect to learn today? We have about a 30-minute presentation for you, and the presentation that you'll see is broken into three main sections. First, we're going to cover the basics. Arpan will talk a little bit about MicroStrategy as a company and how we're positioned to be the ideal embedded AI partner for you. Next, we'll get into the exciting topics and talk about how to embed AI with MicroStrategy. And in this section, you'll learn about the different ways to embed artificial intelligence with MicroStrategy, including where MicroStrategy AI can be embedded and exactly how it can be done. As a part of this section as well, we're going to discuss how our customers are embedding AI and share some use cases. Then after this, we'll wrap up the presentation with a summary and some helpful links. So let's go ahead and get started. Just before we get into the content, I need to quickly flash this slide up here. Essentially what you're seeing here, what it's saying is that a few of the items we will show you today are features currently under development at MicroStrategy. So we can show you the direction of the platform and where it's going, but this is with a disclaimer that these features may evolve over time and what we're presenting today might not be released exactly as shown. This only applies, like I said, to a couple of the things that you're going to see today, and we'll be sure to call that out as we go along. Now, I will pass it over to Arpan to lead us off talking about MicroStrategy and some trends around AI.
Thank you, Kaylin. So we want to take a minute or two just to talk about MicroStrategy and our history. Some of you might know us from our Bitcoin holdings over the last few years, but we have been a publicly traded software company for almost 30 years now with a global presence all around the world. And over those 30 years, our software product has evolved quite a bit. We first started with bulk reporting, and from there we developed our semantic layer, which eventually powered our self-service dashboards and mobile applications, our database write-back capabilities, everything related to our embedding SDKs, HyperIntelligence, which is something that's very unique to MicroStrategy that we will touch on later in the presentation, leading to what we have today, which are Gen AI applications built on cloud-native architecture. And this is really powerful because you can take the preciseness of a BI platform. So think about all the trusted calculations, the security, the governance, and you can marry that with all the great things that we know comes with AI. So natural language generation, natural language questioning, reasoning, the ability to plug into unstructured data. And you can marry both of these in one platform, which is MicroStrategy ONE. Now, MicroStrategy ONE is the flagship MicroStrategy platform, which allows you to deliver pervasive analytics against trusted data in a very open fashion. Now, I'm going to pass it on to Kaylin, who's going to talk a little bit more about embedding AI with MicroStrategy.
Thanks, Arpan. Perfect. So let's get into the exciting topics here and look at how we can embed AI with MicroStrategy. Now, before we get into the details of how, we first need to review what flavors of AI MicroStrategy has to offer. MicroStrategy released our first round of AI products out of the box as of June of 2023, so we've had the past year to have many advancements with the AI as we expand and enrich these offerings. At this point in time, MicroStrategy has 6 key flavors of AI functionality that are powered by our custom AI bot that we call Auto. First, we have AutoSQL. That enables you to use AI to write, understand, and optimize SQL queries for your data. Auto Dashboard enables you to use AI to create dashboards by suggesting analysis based on your data and then creating the relevant visualization. Auto Answers enables you to use AI to ask questions of your data right within the dashboard interface, whether the data required is showing on the dashboard or not, and then instantly drill into those analyses. Then we have Autobot, that marries a lot of this functionality together with a standalone AI bot based on your data so that users at every skill level can ask analytical questions using natural language from wherever they're working. And this Autobot is very dynamic and can be used and accessed with the REST API or on mobile devices Or even Autobot could be handled in MicroStrategy's proprietary product, which is HyperIntelligence cards. But Arpan's going to discuss this integration a little bit later, so I'll leave that exciting announcement to him. And then finally, in the near future, you will be able to use Auto as well for data modeling, that is, creating metadata objects and making sense of your data with the help of AI. Now, taking a closer look at the Autobot, this bot can empower your team of users by adding this type of simplified AI-driven analytics into their daily workflows. You can enable your users to drill into the data by displaying what objects are available to query, as well as providing dynamic suggestions around what types of questions you may want to ask for that selected topic. The users are then free to select one of the recommended questions or type in their own, leveraging the dataset as a baseline. This way, they can get the answers to questions they have right within the natural language interface, and there's no longer a need to train them on your BI tool or rely on analysts to create visualizations for these more in-depth insights. Now, one of the best things about the Autobot is that it's truly easy to use and was built with these users in mind, with the capability to learn along with them. It offers an intuitive interface, simple interactions with guided prompts, and takes user feedback right within the workflow to improve and provide accurate responses for the user community. By giving this bot to your users, you instantly expand the number of people who have access to data while eliminating those pesky ad hoc requests that burden on your data experts. And also, since the bot is fueled by MicroStrategy's governed trusted data, everyone can feel confident to ask any question that they have and have accurate data returned, which is not always the case with other AI. But the very best thing about the Autobot is that it can live anywhere. You can use the Autobot as a standalone bot in your existing MicroStrategy library infrastructure and ask questions of your data right within the business intelligence application. You can also bring your bot anywhere with you on the go on your mobile device, and then every answer you need is in your back pocket. Or you can bring your bot into any application that you use. You can easily embed Autobot using an iframe into your dashboard to add that extra layer of insights to the dashboard itself. Maybe you want to embed the bot into an existing web application that you use today, like Salesforce, to extend the functionality of similar standard web applications and make them more useful for your users. Or you can even embed bots into your own custom web page or website to bring quick and easy analytics into your users' daily workflows, where they're already comfortable working and spending their time. So let's take a look at embedding AI in a real-life web application. You can embed your data-powered Autobot into something like Salesforce, like you see here. Then your users are able to instantly chat with natural language right within the Salesforce interface and ask questions about the data, extending the basic functionality that Salesforce offers on its own, and making your users that much smarter by arming them with their AI sidekick. Now, one of the amazing things about this is that some of the data you can enable your users to drill into might be Salesforce-related data, but some might not. Your Autobot can serve up data from anywhere, any of the 200 plus data connector options in MicroStrategy, and can even include blended data from multiple sources showing in your bot all in one place. So imagine here you have finance, HR, and product data all blended together in the Autobot in your Salesforce interface, so your users can find any information that they need across each of these verticals. Whether it's products from your product data that should be sold to a specific account you see in Salesforce for the most upside. Maybe they want to analyze something like which employee from the HR tool or which support liaison from the support platform should be assigned to a new customer for the most successful outcome. Or maybe even how a recent Bitcoin trend from your finance data will affect the business of one of your Bitcoin-centric clients. Your users can now just type in their question into the interface that they're already working in, something like Salesforce, and find these detailed, in-depth AI-powered insights without even changing their screen. So now, how else can we embed these types of bots? I'll turn it back over to Arpan here to talk about a no-code way you can embed AI.
Thank you, Kaylin. So Kaylin, on the previous section, talked about embedding AI into other applications that does leverage and require a little bit of coding. With that being said, at MicroStrategy, we have a product that allows you to embed data into any web application without any coding required. And this is done via our product called HyperIntelligence, where we can embed data in the form of cards, similar to what you're seeing right now, into any web app via a browser extension. With that being said, we understand that there are a lot of developers out there, so there is an SDK that you can use in place of the extension if needed. But these cards are really powerful because, number one, there's no code integration required. but number two, there's no context switching either. So in this screen example that you see, I'm hovering over a keyword. In this case, it's oversized hoodie. As soon as I hover over with my mouse on oversized hoodie, I'm presented with that KPI card. That KPI card, as you can see right now, has a number of different metrics, dimensions, measures, but it also has an AI bot that I can directly interact with and ask questions in natural language. This bot can be embedded into any web app, and it can be done in a matter of minutes, deployed very quickly without any coding via all GUI tools. So let's now look at what comprises these cards in a little bit more detail. So these cards can be made up of any number of your data sources. So you could have a card that's pulling data from Snowflake, from Databricks, maybe a few flat files and an ERP system. And then in addition to having an AI bot on these cards, I can also configure these cards with action buttons, triggers. So I can complete a workflow into Workday or into Salesforce, into another CRM system. I can update a flag. The possibilities are really endless with what you can do with HyperIntelligence in combination of these cards and an AI bot. So now let's look at a real-life example of HyperIntelligence in tandem with an AI bot. What we're looking at right now is a website. This is a retail website that sells furniture. I can see that my swivel chair item is underlined. I hover over my swivel chair item and I'm presented with this KPI card that's giving me all sorts of details related to swivel chair performance. Now I can further widen this analysis by interacting with my merchandising bot that you see right now. I can ask a question related to my NPS score and get all the relevant details, get a nice visualization on the NPS score related to my swivel chair bot directly in that web app without me having to go to another screen, click on something else for this type of analysis. Now, so we talked about embedding with no code. Now we're going to talk about the opposite approach when we're embedding with heavy coding, leveraging the bot REST APIs. So everything that we had seen up until this point used the MicroStrategy UI components that we have in the platform. The REST API approach makes use of your own UI components, but still the same underlying AI engine. So what is it? How does this look like? So for example, you can have this same type of natural language dialogue in a Slack bot. Without any MicroStrategy UI components, I can still have that same natural language dialogue asking my Slack bot questions about my revenue performance, subcategories, really anything that I have related to my data that can be asked via natural language into Slack. We can also do the same type of chatbot in Microsoft Teams. So in this example, I've asked my Teams bot a question about credit card expenses. In the response, it's giving me a nice visualization and a breakdown of how my different bills have performed across my credit card expenditures. I've asked another question about card type breakdown, and it's presented a nice pie chart. And then I'm going to follow that up about questions related to transactions with a particular card in a set of cities. It's put a nice visualization there, and then I can follow that question up with a little bit more nuanced one related to key drivers on a particular city. And it's giving me a nice little tornado widget right here directly in my bot. In addition to Slack and Teams, we can also have the same type of natural language back and forth with those same set of APIs in a text message. So similar to the previous screens, I can ask a question in natural language, but now I'm doing it in a text message to get all the relevant insights that I'm looking for on the go. So how exactly does this work? Well, it starts off with an end user asking a question. In this case, they could ask, a question that's maybe saying, what are my top 5 product categories by revenue? This question is going to be asked via the MicroStrategy Questions API, which will trigger a semantic search into the MicroStrategy semantic layer. This will take that question and route it to the appropriate data set, and the MicroStrategy compute engine will execute all the necessary queries to retrieve the right answers and then surface those answers back via API to the end user in the form of a visualization or text, what have you. And all of this can actually be tested and played live via the MicroStrategy SDK playground, where you can play with the embedded bot experience or even the REST API experience. Now I'm going to pass it on to Kaylin, who's going to talk a little bit more about how our customers are using embedded AI today.
Perfect. Thank you, Arpin, for walking through those use cases with us. Now, for the last section before we wrap up the session today, I'm going to talk a little bit about how a few of our customers are embedding AI today in their business. We're going to focus in on retail for this section, and we have a quote here from one of our large retail customers. It reads, "In the first few weeks of testing, we quickly recognized the value of the bot. It significantly enhanced our ability to identify sales and inventory information for our weekly executive meetings. We particularly appreciated the detailed insights and anomaly tracking the bot provided instantly." So how did this customer embed the bot in their business? Well, this particular customer was focused on merchandising and wanted to provide a better way to provide merchandising information to their analysts so that they could make decisions on the fly throughout the day. The MicroStrategy Autobot was embedded right into the custom tool that the merchandising analysts are used to using every day, which allowed them to now instantly chat in this interface and see useful data like top selling categories, brands and items, along with inventory and days of supply. By using the bot right within their common interface, they were able to analyze things like discount rates across these different categories and brands. And then from these insights, they could update their pricing strategy on the fly based on current trends to improve their overall revenue and profitability. Now let's take a look at some of the specific insights they wanted to leverage AI in their merchandising interface for. Of course, since they were focused on merchandising, they had quite a few questions in the sales and profit analysis category. They leveraged the bot to understand things like overall sales for each channel by year, the top selling items, the key drivers that influence these top selling items, and then which regions were the most performant. They also leveraged the bot to forecast sales, quickly getting to understand the forecast for each channel or each region or each store. And finally, the bot was able to provide quick insights around promotions and inventory and drill into details around product and brand analysis, quickly answering questions like what was the average discount rate for each selling category or brand, and identifying these top selling brands per channel. Now, what about some other use cases? Continuing here on the trend of retail for this discussion, another large retail customer we work with at MicroStrategy had some more inspiring words to share around their AI journey. They said, "We were able to build a solution in just 6 weeks using the MicroStrategy AI bot, gaining a 360-degree view of our loyalty members' buying behavior." Now, this retailer focused on customer engagement and loyalty rather than merchandising, and they aimed to use the bot to simplify a massive customer loyalty program dataset that they were using. That was over 19 million rows. They chose to embed the bot into their existing dashboarding interface, which allowed the customer experience reps to dig into details around things like buying trends and pricing more quickly than they would have otherwise been able to get to. By being able to simply type in questions to the bot and get a response, these 19 million rows of customer data were majorly simplified, allowing the reps to answer business questions as they worked and then make the necessary changes throughout the day. And the best part of this is that it was all accomplished in just 6 weeks' time from start to finish. So what type of specific insights were these analysts looking for in those 6 weeks? Here again are just a few examples. They were looking for insights by brand and store type, things like how many visitors to the store were loyalty customers over the past year, or data for forecasting sales for loyalty customers for the next year. They also looked to do a comparison analysis, comparing popular product categories and how many loyalty customers were purchasing over each year. It was easy for them to dig into sales and profitability values with the bot so they could understand loyalty customers' buying patterns in terms of item and price. And they could leverage AI's inherent genius by going beyond typical questions and asking things like key drivers for increased sales and insights around these key factors to improve the bottom line. So I know we've gone through a ton of great information today, but before we wrap it up, I am going to turn it over to Arpin one last time to provide a quick summary of some of the key points that we've discussed.
Thank you, Kaylin. So real quick, let's summarize the different topics that we covered today. First, we started with embedding AI with MicroStrategy and the benefits that organizations can realize, the ability to empower your entire user community with access to insights, the embody to deploy AI pretty much anywhere and help you eliminate the chaos of your data. We also talked about the different ways to embed MicroStrategy with zero code integration, leveraging our HyperIntelligence product, and how this can be really powerful because in addition to the zero code integration, you can also have zero context switching and have embedded AI ready to deploy in a matter of minutes. And then we also talked about how you can embed AI leveraging the MicroStrategy REST API components. This allows you to take the AI engine the MicroStrategy has and integrate that into your own UI with flexible coding options that allow you to build your own custom chatbots. And one last thing before we leave today, if you like what you saw, you have the ability to actually try this out via what we call Auto Express. This is a 30-day trial that gives you access to all the great things we shared today. And then there's also the SDK Playground that lets you integrate and play with the different SDK options that we have available with embedding AI. Thank you.